Recording in progress.
WBZD. Hey guys, it finally happened. We made our podcast.
Woo!
This is our first official podcast episode of WBZD, and we are so excited to start sharing our experiences studying abroad with you today. WBZD is short for WBZD, which means I don't know in Chinese. We chose this name because as international architecture students living in a foreign country, there's still so much we don't know. And honestly, we don't know a lot. So through this podcast, we invite you to join us on our learning adventure. Yay! Before we introduce ourselves, we would like to give a huge mahalo to the University of Hawaii at Manoa School of Architecture and the Global Track Program, and Tonji University College of Architecture and Urban Planning for making all of these experiences possible. Now, what you guys have all been waiting for, let us introduce ourselves. Hi, I'm Ashlyn.
Hi, I'm Ran, and you can call me Shin.
Hi, I'm Ronnie.
I'm Joyce.
And I'm Natalie.
And we are
GT14!
architecture students from the University of Hawaii studying abroad at Tonji University in Shanghai. Before we get started, I know some people are curious to what the Global Track Program is about, so we're here to explain it.
So the Global Track Program is one of two 3-year professional doctorate degrees, Doctor of Architecture degrees offered by the School of Architecture at the University of Hawaii, which offers the opportunity for students to study in China for 1 year and obtain an additional concurrent Master's of Architecture degree from the very prestigious Tongji University here in Shanghai. The program is structured so that the first year of study is in Honolulu, followed by a second full year in Shanghai for the master's degree, and then that's followed by a third and final year back in Honolulu to finish the doctoral degree. We're the 14th cohort of the program since the program started, and that's why they call us GT14s. If you're interested in learning more about our program, please visit gtarchawaii.com. That's GTARCHAWAII.com, gtarchawaii.com.
We have a lot to cover today, so let's just jump right into it. So I'm so curious, and we can go around the room, but why did everyone choose to study at the UH Manoa under the Global Track Program, and how did you hear about the program?
Well, I did my undergrad at UH Manoa, and I studied the bachelor's in environmental design. I heard about the program through undergrad, and they marketed it as an opportunity for us to study in China for 1 year, and that's what sold me. I wanted to do some sort of study abroad program while I'm studying architecture, and I found that this opportunity where I get to obtain 2 degrees, 1 master's in China and then a doctorate in Hawaii, and I saw that it was a really good opportunity, so I decided to do Global Track.
Same here. I was an undergrad at UH Manoa during my first year. We heard about it during our first year, but it's just like once, it was mentioned once. It got my attention because I got to study abroad in China for a year, and also like it got me the opportunity to travel all over China as well, like in Hangzhou, and also I was able to visit Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Macau.
So my process is a little bit different from Joyce and Natalie's. I actually was studying in Texas for my undergrad, so I wasn't really studying under the University of Hawaii. But I always wanted to study abroad, but being a student athlete in my undergrad, I wasn't allowed to do so. So when I found out that University of Hawaii was able to provide me some education and a study abroad program, I was really captivated by that. And I was like, yeah, I have to sign up for that immediately. Also, my undergrad program wasn't accredited. So having that accredited program for the doctorate was actually something that I was looking into. I was trying to debate between a master's and the doctorate program, but I think part of me missed Hawaii and missed home a little bit. So I wanted to come home. And so I think this program was just a perfect fit for me.
Nice.
That's cool. I also, like Ashlyn, did my undergrad at a different school at Brigham Young University, Idaho. And it was kind of a construction management focused degree with a little bit of architecture on the side. So I ended up working at an architecture firm in Idaho for about 7 or 8 years and really enjoyed it and loved working there. It was just a small firm, but decided I wanted to go back to school so I could get my license and become an architect. And so I ended up starting an online master's degree actually in Illinois. And then I remembered back to in high school, I actually discovered the Doctor of Architecture program way back in 2004, 2005 when it first started. And in the back of my mind, I was like, I wonder if I could get in and do it. And then I just found that since then they'd started the Global Track program. And so I applied, thought it'd be really cool, and ended up transferring to the Global Track program from my online program and have loved it ever since.
Wow. I feel like all our stories are so unique, but we also have someone in our cohort who is actually from China, which I think is super special because being in the US, maybe we know about the NAB accreditation and having to be accredited, and that's something that like pushes us to go beyond just an undergrad degree. So I think if we want to learn more from Shen about how he heard about this program being from China and why he chose to come all the way to the United States to study here.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Ran, and I graduated from Tongji. But due to the pandemic, everybody knows that my master's studies were conducted entirely online. So although I was admitted to Politecnico di Milano, it's a university in Italy in Milan, but I have never met my classmates or teachers offline, which is a great pity for me. So therefore, for my doctoral studies, and I want to go abroad. So I heard this program in Tongji, so I think it's a very good opportunity because I love traveling, and Hawaii is a really good destination for me. So I think it's really happy and lucky to study in Hawaii, so I choose this program.
Oh, to talk more about our program, we actually, the previous years before us, there's actually Tongji students that would go to Hawaii and study 1 year with the Hawaii students. But this year is kind of, our cohort is kind of different because it's right after COVID and they kind of restarted everything after us. So we are kind of like the lab rats, trying to like test the waters for everyone after the whole COVID situation. But yeah, that's like a little background.
Yes, well, we don't have any Tongji students with us, unfortunately.
Yes.
Coming back to Hawaii with us.
Yes.
So we've been kind of learning a lot from Shen.
Yeah.
He's been giving us the rundown, helping us a lot in China. So we really appreciate you being here.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Official, unofficial tour guide.
Yeah.
Do you want to like share some like culture shocks about going to the United States or something that you found interesting?
I think Hawaii is a very interesting city because you can see more Asian people than white people in Hawaii. And it's just like a combination with both Western and Eastern culture together. And the most thing I like the most in Hawaii is the culture, is the climate there. I mean, the temperature is so comfortable, and especially when we have experienced the climate together in Singapore, in Shanghai, which were also in northern China, some place where it's so hot or cold, but in Hawaii it's so nice, the weather. Yeah. And also another thing it really struck me is that I found a lot of people, they look like Chinese people. Also, actually, but actually they cannot speak Chinese. But this is what I think is interesting because we can learn from each other and travel together, learn from each other together. So we can learn a lot from each other. This is what I think is a really meaningful point for our program.
Maybe we should go around and maybe explain who we are and maybe our ethnic cultural background so people on this podcast can understand like how we're fitting in here in China in the program.
I guess to explain why everyone was laughing at that comment. So I'm actually Japanese American, but everyone up here thinks I look Chinese. So everyone talks to me in Chinese. So maybe I have part of Chinese in me. I don't know. As far as I know.
Chinese people, when they see you, they think you are easygoing. And
that's so sweet.
They want to talk with you. Yeah.
Well, I'm Joyce. I'm actually Chinese American, so I was born and raised in Hawaii, but my parents are from China, from Guangdong. And so I know how to speak Cantonese and Mandarin. I went to Chinese school when I was a kid, so I have like a Chinese background and I'm able to understand, speak and read Chinese. So being in Shanghai it was hard to adapt at first, but then once I got used to it, I'm like, it's pretty easy for me to get past the society.
Yeah, she's like our translator up here, and we're super grateful for that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm Natalie. I'm also Chinese American. I was born and raised in Hawaii, but my parents are also from Guangdong as well. I can speak Cantonese and Mandarin. Unlike Joyce, I'm like sort of okay with Mandarin, but I'm more comfortable with Cantonese. And also being in Shanghai, I'm able to learn more Mandarin or experience more and talking to people in Mandarin. So my Chinese have probably gone up a little bit, maybe.
I agree with that.
You know, like immersion, like being
Yes.
in it. Yeah,
Yes.
that makes sense.
And also talking more also helped a lot.
And then I'm Ronnie, and I'm the token white guy of the group. So I grew up in mainland US and went to Hawaii. It was my first time going to Hawaii, besides as like a small little trip or whatever, moving to Hawaii for this program. And kind of like Bren was saying, it's an amazing place. Hawaii is like super special. If you're not in Hawaii listening to this, it's definitely a huge draw to join the program, of course. I also do not speak Chinese.
Yeah, I grew up in Beijing, but I cannot speak Cantonese. I can only speak Mandarin. So as for me, Cantonese is a totally new language, even more difficult than English. And what I think is a very interesting thing is for this year, I'm international student in China, but I know Shanghai and I studied in Shanghai for many years, but it's still very interesting for me, and because I can learn what's your hobby, what things is interesting for you for foreigner students. And for example, it's my first time to visit the chocolate factory with you, because maybe I know that before, but I will not go to this place by myself. But there are a lot of foreigner friends here, so we can have the opportunity to visit this kind of place together. This is also a very meaningful experience for me. And also last week we visited a bakery store and buy a lot of very delicious right there. Yeah, this is very meaningful for me because it can tell me that the Shanghai is really a city that combines different cultures and different people. So everyone can meet their favorite things here, their favorite food or place here. So this is why I like Shanghai, and also I think compared to Hawaii, Shanghai is much more bigger, and we have much more opportunities and to find some place to visit, and also the metro lines everywhere, and also we can meet some foreign friends from other countries like Roland, David, some friends like them, Beatrice. Yeah, so this is what I think is really interesting for me.
I think that's a good segue. We know that Shanghai, there's so many things to do, see, eat. So I guess one of the main questions that kind of goes around when everyone asks like how we like Shanghai is like, what was one thing you were looking forward to? And I guess what's your favorite part?
I guess I can jump in. I have lived in Asia and other countries before, but this is my first time coming to mainland China. And I was mostly excited, I think, about the food. I'm a huge foodie, whatever. I love, whenever I travel, that's probably like one of the main reasons I love traveling, is to try all the foods and the snacks and going to the grocery store and trying all the potato chip flavors and everything. And so coming here, where like Ren was saying, there's so much like mix of everything here. Like you can find like tons of international food, but there's also people here from like every corner of China. And so you have all the different cultures and ethnicities of China here as well mixing together. And so I've absolutely loved the food. And then just being able to participate in like cultural events has been really cool.
I think for me, I was just excited for like the whole journey, just being in China, living in China, and being able to visit so many places, because China is so big. There's so many places you could visit, and it's all a different experience everywhere you go. So I was mainly excited for that. But also, yes, the food. I love exploring. I love how like we just go somewhere and find something new and we try it and it's pretty good. And I like how Shanghai has such a diverse food selection. Like we had Singaporean food, Thai food, Chinese food. We also had Western food.
And it's very cheap.
Yes,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Compared to
like,
Hawaii.
yeah.
yes.
Like I could not do that back in Hawaii. Like there's no way I can eat out every day trying different foods.
I was also like most excited about the journey and also traveling. I was able to travel so many different places because it's so close. You just need a train ride to Hangzhou and it's only like an hour away. Or from Suzhou, it's like 30 minutes away, just on a high-speed railing or train. Just traveling so many different places within mainland China and being able to explore so many different cultures and things. I was just excited about the journey overall.
I guess another thing that I was like super excited about was like the technology, because like I see on Instagram or something, like the technology here is like really well developed, or like they're continuously developing it. So like there's like a lot of robots and like drones and stuff. So I was like excited to see that part of a country. And it was funny because we got to go to Haidi Lao and there was a robot dancing in front of us.
Came and said hello to us while we were eating.
Yeah.
It sang to us.
Yeah. It's definitely something you don't get in Hawaii.
Yeah. I think one thing I was looking forward to the most was actually trying to see what Tonji was all about. Just I've never been to an international school, so kind of coming all the way to Asia to study architecture is pretty cool. To be able to see all the architecture in Shanghai and then also hear different ways of going about design, I think was really interesting to me. And also I think what was the most challenging was trying to change to the metric system.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I still have a good grasp
not
on
at all.
how big a meter is, a centimeter is.
This is also a big challenge for me.
Opposite,
I'm still trying to figure it out. So when someone's like mentioning how far something is, I'm like,
Yeah.
I
Totally,
totally know. Pulling out my phone, converting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Also like the weather.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Celsius
everything
or
being in
Fahrenheit.
centigrade,
Yeah.
Yeah, so different. I think I was really looking forward as well to being an international student. 'Cause like you're saying, like, 'cause in Hawaii, I live at the East-West Center. If you don't know what that is, it's basically like international housing right across the street from UH. And so I have tons of international friends that have come to the US as international students and just kind of like trying to make them feel welcome and whatever. And it's kind of fun being able to be on the opposite side of that here and being able to, you know, try something completely new and go through all this kind of crazy, we don't know what we're doing, registration processes and registering with the government and the police and all this different stuff, and just figuring all that out was kind of an adventure, which was fun.
Also architecture, like since we're architecture students, of course we have to talk about architecture.
Surprise!
But I know Ashton kind of mentioned it, but there's a lot of case studies that we used for our previous project that are in Shanghai. And it's really nice to actually go visit them or go see them in person because the scale is way different than what we thought about. It's a lot bigger than what we imagined. For example, the China Expo that turned into the Shanghai Art Museum. When we first got there, like I didn't think it was that big. But like if you put a human to it, it's massive. Yeah.
The scale of everything here is
Yes.
insane.
Yes.
Shen, is life different in Shanghai versus Beijing, or is it about the same?
Like for me, although I grew up in Beijing, but I prefer Shanghai because I think in Shanghai I have more freedom because my parents live in Beijing. And also I think in Shanghai, I mean the metro system is very convenient actually. Although Beijing also have a metro system, but I think in Shanghai we can, as Natalie mentioned, we can use the high-speed railing system, and they can bring us to a lot of cities nearby very, very quickly and convenient. And also, compared to Beijing, I prefer Shanghai because Shanghai is more open and international. And we have more opportunities to meet foreigner friends and also a lot of foreigner professors. And during my master study in College of Design and Innovation in Tongji, almost all the courses was taught in English. So and also lots of professors are from Europe, and like Italy, like Finland, this kind of European countries. So and also we made a lot of friends from Europe. So I think Shanghai is really a good place for foreign people who want to explore China. This is the very good choice for their first station because you can see most English here compared to other cities. Yes. Also Shanghai, and Ronnie mentioned, they also attract a lot of Chinese people from different places of China. So you can know different cultures from China, and also their different languages, cultures. For me, it's also a new lesson for me because China is so big, and I think in Shanghai we can meet different people with different background, and it's very important to be somewhere so that you can know there better. So yeah, very important to visit some place or some museums in person, and you can And another very good example is for the artworks. You know a lot of very famous artworks, masterpiece. You know them online, but when you see it face to face, you can know the real size. And yeah, that's a really good and important experience. So I think it's very important to be Shanghai and make friends here and have some very meaningful experience here.
I think we all enjoy living here in Shanghai.
Definitely.
And loving it more every single day as you go along. But of course, there were some challenges that came up along the way, and mainly probably when we were first moving here. So does anyone want to share their experiences, some challenges that they faced?
I just remember how hot it was. The summer heat in Shanghai is way hotter than I imagined. I thought it was more manageable, like at a 80-degree Fahrenheit kind of level, but no, it went above 90.
Yeah. I think
Not
the
ready
heat
for that.
index was like 120 something for
Yeah.
a few days. Yeah.
And the
It's really hot.
humidity was really high too.
I think just adjusting overall because like we had to buy like bed sheets, household items for our dorm, and overall like moving in. I haven't lived alone by myself. This is my first time having my own room, and it's such a big room too. So like having my own room and not having to share with any siblings whatsoever.
Freedom.
Literally.
I think like setting up your phone for all the different apps, the mini programs, all the things you need to survive in China, basically. Getting used to like the QR code system and things like that.
I feel like talking about phones, you really can't do much here without a Chinese phone number. I felt like I
Have to
couldn't
have a
do
Chinese
phone
phone
until I got my phone with the Chinese phone
Yes.
number. And
Exactly,
then I could
yeah.
log into all the different apps, and I'm like, okay, I can start my life now.
Exactly. Yeah. So true. I think it was also hopefully future cohorts of GT won't have to deal with it so much, but kind of like Joyce has mentioned, we're like the first ones after COVID. And a lot of regulations and stuff in China have changed, and in the US as well. And so there was just a lot of, is it going to happen? What's going to happen? And like, we wouldn't know until like the day before something like, oh, you have to go get this medical exam and they're closing at 5, so good luck. Like running across the city, which literally takes like 2 hours here in Shanghai because it's so huge. And so I think just like those logistical things that hopefully will be worked out. But at the same time, they weren't like terrible. It was just kind of like, oh, we need to do this, we need to go to this, and just being flexible as you learn those things until they become second nature now, just totally part of life. Like you're saying, like QR codes for everything or your phone number or whatever. It's all just normal now.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot to do when you first arrive here as an international student. But I feel like the teachers or like the advisors here in Tongji were really helpful. They were pretty on it when we asked them questions, and they were like trying to help us and guide us through like the whole process and stuff, which was really nice. I don't think we can get around without like their help.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. I think they helped a lot, especially not speaking. Ronnie and I don't speak Chinese.
Yeah.
So I think having that language barrier, but having someone here who spoke English and Chinese to help us was very helpful to get the process along.
Also, shout out to Vanessa in
Oh,
Hawaii.
yeah.
Woo! Thank you for like helping us with the whole process as well, and like trying to connect us with the Tongji advisors and
Yeah.
things.
Long story short, like basically our advisor person back in Hawaii that literally put everything together and helped us through the whole process. She's
Answered
amazing.
my numerous questions at like midnight when
Yeah,
I'm
seriously.
panicking of like, how do I do this? How do I get it done? So thank you, Vanessa.
Yeah, and also before I arrived in Hawaii, I also asked a lot of questions. Vanessa really helped me a lot because she also had a WeChat account, and we communicate with each other and via WeChat. So yeah, Vanessa also helped me a lot. So thank you again for Vanessa.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also super nice. I think we have a benefit of being like a regular group of students that come. Because it seems like most of the other international students, it's just kind of like they applied to come to Tongji and they're here by themselves, or maybe there's a few from the university or something. Whereas ours is like an established group that comes as part of our program. And so the university here knows about our group. Like our professors come with us from Hawaii and they work together. Shani is our advisor here in Tongji, and she's like worked with Vanessa. She knows Vanessa. She knows all these people. So they know and expect us.
I think that's one thing I like about this program too. Is like we're a cohort, so whatever we do, it's like a group. So like it's not like you're here alone. You have people to rely on, and then people to help you too.
Which I think also worked really well because the four of us, besides Ren found his own housing, but there are other four of us were offered housing by the university it's a little ways from campus, but it's part of one of the design groups that's part of campus. It's a weird situation that we don't have in the US, but the way it works here. But they offered us housing, and so we didn't really have to worry about housing, which most of the other students have to like come here, stay at a hotel for a few days, try and find housing while school's going on and all kinds of stressful things like that. And I'd say the apartments that they offer us are like really nice. It's the biggest bedroom I've ever had. With like a really big bed.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
My very own room.
And right next to the metro station, which is super convenient.
Well, Shen, did you think it was hard to find a place in Shanghai? Because I know you're living somewhere different than where we are.
Because I used to live in the dormitory for many years in Shanghai. So after my graduation, I want to find a house by myself so that I can have more freedom. And also, I think living in Shanghai is not very difficult because you can find some really cheap rooms, but also some are really expensive. But for students, it's not very difficult for students to live here, especially compared to Hawaii. And also, because the living cost is a very important big issue for us, for our students. So living in Shanghai, I think in the same money you can get more experience, get more happiness, I think. So and so for the living in Shanghai, I think a very important thing is whether if your room is close to the metro station, and because in Shanghai the traffic jam everywhere, so we prefer taking metros, taking subway and the Hello bike, the sharing bike. So it's very convenient for us. And if your room is close to the metro station, it's a very good point. So and next thing is you can talk about the price, but the most important thing I think is the traffic. So it can help you save a lot of time and give you more opportunity to explore Shanghai.
I think the other thing that's really nice about Shanghai, like when we talk about like the price, like everything here is just so much cheaper than even mainland US. And so like my quality of life here, even on like a student budget, living on like student financial loans and all that jazz, like it's so much better here than it was working full time in the US. Like being able to afford and going out on activities and traveling around China is super cheap. Like we're going on a field trip that's I'd say probably equivalent of going from like California to the Midwest. And we're doing an overnight train, and it costs what, like $60 US dollars, something like that, for an overnight train with your own bunk and everything, and you arrive the next day, which is like not, I mean, we don't even have trains like that in the US really. But it's just so cheap. Or like traveling to other countries, like we have like one of the biggest international airports in the world, a metro ride away from us, and you can travel everywhere around Asia for quite cheap. So it's just amazing experiences. It's really, that's pretty cool.
I guess one thing that we kind of left out was in the beginning of our process of settling in, we actually had to give up our passport, which is basically our life. And we carry it around with us everywhere, even though we don't really get checked, luckily. But we just in case, we carry that around. And obviously we need it to travel to other places. But giving up our passport was a little bit scary. I don't know if you guys felt the same way.
Yeah, I felt like I lost my identity. But the reason why we had to turn it in was because we came here with a student visa from the US. But then when you actually arrive in Shanghai, you need to change it into like a permanent resident visa. So we had to turn it in so we can change our visa to that and stay a little longer.
It was a pretty seamless process, but it was weird being in a foreign country and not having your passport just in case something happened or something. But
it's kind of like an ID, like you lost it and like isn't like you don't know who you are anymore.
But at the same time, it's like part of the process, so everybody knows that's just what you do. So you also, when you first come, they have physical examinations you have to do before you can submit for that new thing. And then one thing that is a little bit different here is if you travel, you have to register with the local police station that you're there, being a not Chinese resident or whatever. But it's actually not too bad because usually the hotel does it for you, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you're just like traveling on your own, and so there's a little bit of like keeping track of like, oh, did I register? But
this is only for foreigner people?
I think it's just for foreigner people, at least from my understanding. But
I think for Chinese people, if they want to stay in a new place for a long time, they also need
Oh, really?
Oh,
A
really?
similar
Oh,
thing,
wow.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an everybody thing.
Is it like the 户口
Not just 户口, we also have a 临时居住证 or something like that.
temporary residence?
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay. So
so-
maybe something similar
yeah.
like that. Okay. But overall, I think jumping through all those hoops to finally get your residential permit, like once you have it, it's like everything's smooth sailing. Like I
Yeah.
haven't had any
Yeah,
problems since then.
yeah.
There's no issues of, is my visa going to be revoked? Is there anything like that? Like it's not an issue here in China, which is super convenient. And just, I think just generally living here, we're stable and safe. I go running sometimes at 2 o'clock in the morning in like the industrial part of town, and other people are out there running, and there's like ladies out walking their dogs, and it's like not an issue. Safety here, which is super, super nice.
Security cameras like all over the place.
Honestly, that was a little bit of a culture shock here, the amount of security cameras that are like just surrounding you everywhere you go. But then if you think about it, it's actually like a safety thing. Like I feel more safe that way. And after living here for so long, you kind of just ignore it, I guess.
you
Like
don't-
you
I
kind
don't
of
even
forget that
notice
it's
it anymore.
there. Yeah.
Because we already get used to it. So
Yeah.
And as for me, I think the safety is really good here. You can go out at midnight.
I definitely think that one of our podcast episodes, we should talk about culture shocks. We have a lot to probably share
Yeah.
about
A
that.
lot of different things to go over for sure.
Yeah, I still remember the first week when I arrived Honolulu. How it's in Waikiki area, and I live in a hotel there, and I still go out at night as I do in China. And one of my local friends told me it's very dangerous. But in China, no matter in Shanghai or some very suburb area, I think it's also very safe everywhere in China. So and for our students, I think it's good. But some people think that there are a lot of CCTVs. They may worry about that, but actually for myself, I think safety is more important. So
Yeah.
you need to pay for something if you want to be really
Right.
safe.
Yeah. It's kind of that whole like privacy, safety. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Where
need a
do
good
you-
balance.
Yeah.
So it depends. Sometimes maybe we think privacy is more important, but when we live in a public space, I think the safety is the most important issue for me. And also my parents always worry about me because I especially for my internship in New York City, my parents really worried about that. But I told them it's okay for me actually because I only live in the midtown and downtown area, so maybe a little bit safer. But I think it's not very big important. It's not a really big problem, but because you have already get used to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess to give background, we did an internship last summer. So Shen, Joyce, and Natalie all went to New York to do their internship, and Ronnie and I did our internships in Hawaii. So maybe we will talk about that in another podcast as well, just to talk about our experiences, because I'm kind of interested in hearing how you guys enjoyed New York. And I'm sure Ronnie and I have something to tell about Hawaii and our internship experience.
We're still here.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be cool.
I think we're kind of running out of time right now. So that kind of wraps up our first podcast. Please stay tuned into our next episode where we'll dive into our initial experiences living and studying in China.
If you wish to continue to follow our journey, please follow us on Instagram at global_track_architecture. And if you have any specific topics or questions, feel free to leave them down below in the comments or email us at globaltrackarchitecture@gmail.com. And thank you again for joining us today. We hope to see you again soon.
Choose!